Hi, there's Kevin with the Rogue Deck Builder here with the Kamigawa Neon Dynasty pre-release pack opening / deck build. So this is kind of a what if. The pre-release is this weekend. I hope you go and support your local game store and bring back the Gathering in Magic the Gathering. Pre-release, of course, are my favorite thing about Magic the Gathering. This is why you play Magic, to attend your pre-release, to experience the set for the first time, have a great time with your friends, and hopefully win the pre-release, because that's what we want to do, right? We're Spikes here. We want to win, win, win. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to open this pre-release pack, and we're going to see what we get, and then I'm going to do a quick overview of what I'd build if this were a pre-release, if I was entering this into a pre-release. So, first test to see if I can open the box. Alrighty, so here we go. What do we have here? We have a promo, which is Ishin Two Heavens is one. Now, super exciting card. I like this card a lot because you get an additional attack. No, this is the permanent one. I thought this was the additional attack one. If a creature attacking causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control, it triggers twice. So, never mind. I thought this one where we get an additional attack phase, which is not. Unfortunately, this is probably a promo that's going to be very tough for us to play. 3 colors is not what you usually want to be doing in Limited, especially this set. There is some fixing for it. But in Sealed, this is something I need to teach people about curves and about double manas, and in this case, triple manas. When you don't have a good mana base, like a lot of fixing, this isn't a 3 mana spell. It's more like a 5 mana spell, because by the time that you're going to get all of your colors, a red, a white, and a black, in a format that doesn't have a lot of treasures or fixing, and this one is kind of, it does, I mean, it's not awful, but it's also not like it's not a Konza Tarkir. This can be tough to get out on time, and it's going to be tough to actually make it work to actually have value with any things that triggers. It's going to be basically, we need to find a lot of support to be able to justify running this. Otherwise, this just becomes a liability. So pretty, yeah, kind of meh about this card. Great commander card, but this is something I wouldn't want to open up in a pre-release. So let's get to cracking the packs, and I'll separating them into colors and kind of talk about them. So first one, we have the Network Terminal. So again, though, this is like, it can fix, but you're already past your 3 mana. So I always say like this, you got to feel like this is like a 5 mana spell. And then you can tap another untapped artifact you control to draw a card, then discard a card. Not too shabby. So here this enters the battlefield, you can get a Shrine or an Aura for 3/2/5 mana. Could be okay. 3/2 is kind of weak for 5 mana to throw into it. Depends on how good your Auras and your Shrines are. We have our first white card being a Katana, which gives +2/+1. And you can attach it to warriors if they're attacking alone for 1, warriors or samurais. We'll also have this sling, so there's a lot of equipments and vehicles in this set. Deals 1 damage to defending player when it attacks. That actually, blocks it, deals 1 damage to defending player. We saw this card in another strategy. Which one was this? Kaladesh? Where this card was super good as an uncommon because no matter, you start attaching it to a bunch of tokens, and your opponent was always taking 1 damage, 1 damage, 1 damage, 1 damage, no matter if they blocked or not. And again, this being a reconfigure as a 1/1 is pretty decent. So, yeah. Not bad. Not a bad card in an aggressive shell. The bargain, sacrifice artifact creature. You gain life equal to the sacrifice permanent's mana value and draw 2 cards. So we're getting another one of these Deadly Dispute type cards, but it doesn't lead back a treasure. You get life instead. So very good for any deck that wants to be sacrificing things. We have the Bearer of Memory. So the Bearer of Memory puts a 1/1 counter on target enchantment creature against trample till end turn. Don't underestimate these cards in Limited, especially Sealed. This is what we call kind of like a board stall breaker, that eventually you can start mana dumping things into it, and your cards are going to get bigger and bigger, and eventually you're going to break that board stall. So 3/2 for 3 mana. Enchantment probably is something that's going to work. It does mean Naturalize and those type of cards, which I'm not sure what this set has to offer for those, are a little bit more valuable against this particular creature. But 3/2 for 3 mana is fine, and that is a good, like I said, good board breaker ability. We have the Prototype, tap an untap artifact or creature you control to add a mana, so it helps you ramp. And then you can the owner of target non-land permanent puts it on top or bottom for just 5. So pretty neat that it's got the channel effect. Again, you can't even counterspell that, so you just discard it and then put a non-land permanent on top or bottom of the library. Oh, they get to choose. Okay, they get to choose where to put it. The juice, but it's removal. It's good removal. The Jujukai Trainee, when it blocks or becomes blocked, it's +1/+1, so it's a bear with a little bit of an upside. Voltage Surge, you can sacrifice an artifact sacrifice an artifact you may, deals 2 damage to our creature or planeswalker if the sacrifice deals 4 instead. So great little shock effect. These are always good and limited. And then you can make it even bigger by sacking something. So we have our first Saga. You can gain control of a creature for 5 mana. Then creatures get +1/+0, and then you get a creature. It ends up being a trample haste 3/3. So a little bit high for this ability for 5 mana. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's enough value to justify for 5 for all of these things. So I have to wait and see how it plays out, what the meta ends up looking like with like the in limited, what the curves and stuff look like. That 5 could be a huge liability, and by that might be the turn like gaining a card is good, and then so you get some momentum shift on that turn, then you get some momentum shift on the next turn, and then you at least get a creature back after that. We have the Rabid Battery. Haste, equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has haste, and pretty good. Little equipment. Reconfigure, attach to target creature control or unattach. So yeah, it's pretty sweet. So you can have it as a 1/1 or buffing something else up. Whenever you discard a card, you may exile that card from your graveyard. If you do, you may play that card this turn. That's pretty sweet. We already have a combo going with the Network Terminal and the Containment Construct. So that's pretty neat. And this, I think, is going to be a very, very... This card is going to break some stuff. I don't know. I think this is like Modern playable or Pioneer playable, and definitely Commander playable with what you can do with it. Unforgiving 1, 2/3 Menace. Whenever it attacks, return target creature card with mana value X or less from graveyard to battlefield, where X is the number of modified creatures you control. Not bad at all. Thing with this is you're going to have some... I mean, we already have the Reckoner's Bargaining that works pretty good with this by getting some value out of it. Menace is kind of cool too, because it's harder to block. And then, yeah, pretty sweet card actually. So we have the Jano Seat of the Empire, which is just going to be an upside to any white card or white deck. It deals 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature for a channel 3, or just add white to your mana pool. So these cards are super good. And we have the Jungle Hollow and a Samurai. So I'm going to put this in white because it's basically a white card. So far this pack had a lot more red than anything, and it has some very aggressive red cards. So it's wanting us to go over into red. The white and black are pretty good, which is good because, this actually, I'm not sure it has any triggering. This actually has a triggering effect with the Unforgiving one. So we already have one combo with the thing. So the Brute Suit Riot. 4/3 Vigilance Crew 1. Not bad. So Vigilance is pretty good with vehicles because you can, crew a small thing and then leave it back to block. The Imperial Oath, you get 3 2/2 white samurai tokens with Vigilance and Scry 3. Another Simian Sling, another Reckoner's Bargaining. So we're already starting to get some duplicates here. Yeah, lots of duplicates here. The Moon Circuit Hacker, Ninjutsu of 1. Whenever the hacker deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card unless Moon Circuit Hacker enter the battlefield this turn. So pretty sweet though. This is actually a very, very powerful card. I like this a lot. Any sort of ETB effects, getting off the card that you're going to be recasting is good. And then Ninjutsu 1 is fine. It's pretty good. If there's some blockable cards in this set or flying cards, it's going to be able to draw a card from this. It's a good card to then re-ninjutsu back no, because it's unblocked. I was going to say to then return back to your hand and re-ninjutsu with the ninjutsu. But it still is a 2/1 then that can start looting. Again, we have another nice little combo going here. So I'm a synergy player. I like to find synergies. I do not like to play red at pre-releases. It's one of my least favorite strategies to go aggro, but this is really trying to set us up for it. Whenever Samurai or Warrior you control attacks alone, the next spell you cast costs 1 less. So that does work with Ishin to Heavens. It will trigger twice with that if it is only an attacking thing. Behold the Unspeakable. Creatures you don't control get +-0. If you have 1 or fewer cards in your hand, draw 4 cards. Otherwise, scry 2, then draw 2. So it's a 5-mana saga. And then you exile this sucker back and it gets +1/+1 for each card in your hand with Flying and Trample. So pretty decent card in. It's kind of weird though. It takes till turn 5 again. The saga is weird. It's coming out when the tempo shift might not be in your favor. A lot of times you need to have creatures get less than -2/-0 earlier on. It's not a combat trick. I don't know. Could be pretty good though. These sagas are kind of fun in ninjutsu too. So once they turn into a creature, then you can ninjutsu them back in your hand and you get more value out of the sagas. I didn't even think of that when I was looking at sagas. Born to Drive. Enchant artifact or creature. As long as enchanted permanent is a creature, it gets +1/+1 for each creature and or vehicle you control. So you can also channel it though to put 2 1/1 pilot creature tokens. This creature crews vehicles as though its power was 2 greater, so they can crew 3. Right? Is that am I reading right? And the artifact enchanted permanent is a creature. If it's a creature, it gets +1 for each creature for each creature and vehicle you control. Not a bad aura. I'm reading that correctly. Rally High, 7 mana. This spell costs one less for each, one less cast for each artifact you control. Look at top 7 cards of your library. You may vote up to 2 artifact cards from among them and put them in your hand. So if we get enough artifact, which, man, we have 2 of the prototypes, which can ramp towards stuff. Kind of weird cards, though. You can't, like, sack them later. Yeah, I don't know. The prototype's kind of weird. Boon of Bojeju. Target creature gets plus X until the turn, where X is the greatest mana value among permanents control, and then untap it. Nice little combat trick. And we have the Ijanu Uprising to create 2/1/1 white samurai creature tokens with vigilance. They gain menace and haste in the turn, and each opponent creates X-1, so they get 1 less than you for the Uprising. So this card can actually be a finisher if you have enough mana into it. And we have an Eater Virtue, which is actually powerful equipment. So equip creature gets +2/+0. It's a 1-mana equipment, 1 to equip. And then when a creature dies with Eater Virtue equipped to it, it exiles, and then for each card that gets exiled with Eater Virtue, you gain the abilities like Menace, Double Strike, Death Touch, Hexproof, Haste, all of those keywords. So far we do have some Menace, nothing really else with it. But this is just like a nice card to go into anything. It just makes, it's super easy to equip for 1. We have just a Plains and a treasure token, because Wizards cannot quit printing treasures in every set, and I hate treasures. I'll have to do a rant video on how bad I hate treasures. I don't think it's a good idea throwing Lotus Petal on everything. It's just screwed up curves. It's screwed up like color pies. It's screwed up. Oh, it's just, I hate treasures. I hate treasures. You can make a meme of that with my face on it. The equipped creature has 1 in tap. Sacrificing Ninja's Kunai deals 3 damage to any target. And equip 1. It's pretty decent in limited for sure. I wouldn't play this outside. It's like a 20 to 23rd, depending on the deck, of course. All right, so we have an Iron Apprentice. Enters the battlefield with +1 with counter on it. And when it dies, if it had counters on it, put those counters on another target creature. Good way to get, it's a modified creature right off the bat, and it's a good way to modify other creatures. Explosive Entry, destroy up to 1 target artifact, put a +1 counter on up to 1 target creature. So this is probably very playable in the main in this format, because look how many artifacts. There are just loads of equipments, and so yeah, this is pretty good. Pretty good as a main boardable card. We have the Virus Beetle. Enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card for 2 mana. Okay, so it's the Ravenous Rats. So there's a good one for ninjutsu. So you can get value out of your opponents. The Greater Tanuki. Trample 6/5 for 6 mana, so almost Colossal Dreadmaw. But you can discard it to search your library for a basic land and put on the battlefield tap. I actually like this card a lot. It's helping with fixing, and then later on, yeah, it either ramps you towards your 6 drops or is a good little 6 drop. So that is pretty sweet. I like that card. Finally, they get Colossal Dreadmaw right. The Rabid Trespasser is 5 mana for a 3/5. Discard Rabid Trespasser, tap up to 2 target creatures you don't control, and they don't untap for 4 mana. So far not impressed with my blue. We have a 1/1 flyer for 1, which is good. Great little ninjutsu card. And then it also is good because once it starts to fall out of favor, you can at least start tapping down creatures. 4 mana is quite steep, but again, it's a board breaker. It's something that can, have tap down their biggest creature, or, tap down a creature, untap, tap down another creature, and swing for lethal. We do have a ninjutsu card for 5/5 for 4. Again, we'd have to have a lot of value with ETBs to make this kind of worthwhile. The Moonstar Specialist with ninjutsu enters the battlefield, return up to 1 target creature to its owner's hand for a 2/2. Enters the battlefield. Okay. Befriending the Moths. On 1 is they get +1/+1 in flying, and 2 as well, and then you exile for a 2/4 flying. Yeah, kind of lackluster. Heiku Yamazaki the General. Trample 3/3. Whenever a samurai warrior you control attacks alone, you may cast target artifact card from your graveyard. Well, there's another one that works with our promo. And we have the Naturalist. Love this card for enchantment spells. Cost 1 less to cast, and lifelink 2/2. So pretty cool card because it makes my Auras deck actually go into Naya. I think this will want me to go into Naya once this is spoiled. So I've been watching the channel of a Rune deck, and I think it would want green over black. And so then having access to green I think will be pretty good. We have the Mech Hanger. You can add 1 mana of any color. Spend this only to cast a pilot or vehicle spell. And target vehicle becomes an artifact creature until end turn. So basically can crew a vehicle for 3 mana. So not a bad card. And the 1,000 Faced Shadow. Ninjutsu 4, flying. When it enters the battlefield from your hand, if it's attacking, create a token that's a copy of another target attacking creature. The token enters the battlefield tapped and attacking. Wow. That's actually pretty powerful. I'm like, I don't want to go blue. Blue is so bad. And now we're getting some blue cards. These got a Swiftwater Cliffs, too, that I think red is still my secondary color. I mean, my best color as far as, yeah, just value is concerned. So, unfortunately, I love playing black, and we are just not getting enough black. I like the cards so far that we've picked from black. Green is also pretty decent so far. Blue I want, like, blue has that cool card, but man, it's got a lot of crap filler. And then white also. White just seems boring. I don't want to go Boros. And again, I wanted to try this 2 Evans, but it's a trap card. It's something that I don't think is going to work. The Ecologist Terrarium enters the battlefield. You may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, and put in your hand. So another way to fix, and then you can sacrifice it to put a +1 counter on target creature. Kind of weird though for 2 mana, like an environmental sciences type card. Very good for maybe fixing is better than I thought though. With this one, but yeah, and then it modifies something, so that's not terrible. We have the Wanderer's Intervention, deals 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature for 2 mana. That's what Gideon's Reproach. Unstoppable Ogre, 4/1, enters the battlefield. Target creature can't block this turn. Pretty aggressive. It's a 4/1, can't block. Artifact card. All those things work with this. The Debt of the Kami, target opponent exiles a creature they control. Wow. Or target opponent exiles an enchantment they control for the Death of Kami. So they reprinted this one. Was this one like the Farika's Kiss or something? Or what was the one, Touched by Farika? Didn't do the same thing as this, but destroyed, not exile. Master's Rebuke, target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control for 2 mana. Pretty good card. I actually like it a lot. For green, now green's looking super good. The permanent gets -3, -0, and loses flying. Enters the battlefield, put a +1 counter on target creature control, or you can discard it, put a +1 counter on each of the 2 target creatures control for 3 mana. The Sky Swimmer Koi, 3/3 flying. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Great. This is a great card. This is a super good card. Just a 3/3 flying for 4 mana. Flying can pump it for +2/+2, but a great ninjutsu card for 2 mana. Each opponent loses life, you gain a life. And then we bring it back as a 2/2. I actually like this card. I mean, it's Menace and then Vehicles. You control Menace. Another great ninjutsu. Not only ninjutsu, great ninjutsu target because it's got Menace, then it can redo this. This card's sweet and limited. You can really start draining your opponents. I know 1 a turn isn't the greatest, but I don't know. It feels like you get some massive value out of this. All right, so +4 in Reach for 3 mana, and then you can reconfigure it. And now we have the Naomi Pillar of Order. It really wants us to go into the 3 colors. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, you control an artifact and enchantment, create a 2/2 white. Oh, it's just going to make me want to play those colors, which actually is kind of cool, though, because I could build 2 decks here because it doesn't seem like my blue and green seem like they actually do maybe want to go together. I know that blue and red also are looking pretty good together, but yeah, we'll have to. It works with my promo. Goshinti, the hidden cruelty, which is the shrine. At the end step, you may pay 1 when you do destroy target creature with toughness X or less, where X the number of shrines you control. Wow, that card is good. A 2/2 Death Toucher. It's a shrine. So if we add more shrines, I think we had 1 other shrine we've opened so far, maybe not. Yeah, the shrine. No, Shrine Steward is not. We can go grab it with the Shrine Steward, but I don't know if we did get another shrine. But it's just a 2/2 for 4 mana. Death Touch is fine. And then at the beginning of your end step, man, you can just start killing any 1 toughness creature. And we get this is actually a pretty cool equipment creature. It's 2 mana for 3/1. Equipped creature has base power and toughness is 5/5, has menace, and is black demon additional to its type. So it needs to reconfigure onto it, then it becomes a demon. But right now it's just a 3/1 menace. Again, very good target for ninjutsu. It's very aggressive, and then it becomes bigger. It can reconfigure anything. So it's a very good. So now my black is really picking up here with the power level. 2 more packs to go, and then we'll have to kind of look at the cards that I think are playable. Enters the battlefield for each kind of counter on target permanent, put another counter. So our green was working with counters quite a bit with +1s with counters. Another fight card, or kind of fight card, another flash card. Yeah, blue unfortunately seems so weak. Imperial Oath. I don't know if it's playable. The Simian Sling, very aggressive. I almost just want to go black-red. Another Reckoning's Bargain. Ah, it's too many of them. Kind of does work with kind of our weaker cards, and we can get them back. Death Touch 1/1. 2/2. Our curve in green is just so good. Now we have a Ramper. Search your library for up to 2 basic forest cards. Reveal them, putting them. Oh, it just puts them in your hand. Okay. And put up to 1 target land card from your graveyard on top of your library. And then exile this Saga, then return it. This is a weird card. I don't know if I like it. So what does it turn into? Gets +1/+1 for each land you control with reach. I mean, it doesn't put them into play, though. For 4 mana, you have to just get 2 forest cards and put them in your hand. Yeah, I do not like this card. It's just too slow and awkward. Whenever land enters battlefield under your control, put a +1 counter on target creature or vehicle you control. For 2 mana, really good. Really, really good card. And discard it, you can put X +1 counters on target land you control. It becomes a 0/0 green spirit creature with haste. So pretty neat card, too, with a potential finisher. Uprising Renegades +2/+0 for each modified creature control. Wow, for each. For each. Now that's really good with these counter strategies. So I'm starting to see this set should be pretty fun to draft for sure. We have the Enormous Energy Blade, +4/+0 when it becomes attached to a creature. Tap that creature. So you have to wait a turn basically. Equip 2. Not a big fan of this card. March of the Burgeoning Life. As initial cost, you can exile green card, any number of green cards to make it cast 2 less. Choose our creature with mana value less than X. Search your library for a creature card with the same name. Very hard to make it work in limited. I think we only have like 2 duplicates right now. Kindled Fury is a reprint, +1/+0 on first strike, and a Forest. So we need a little bit of help. This actually does seem like kind of a weak pre-release kit. I'm really, really thinking black-green. Is there... No, our black is kind of weird too. But green seems solid. So, another Shrine Steward, another Tanuki, another Trespasser, the Patrol, and enters the battlefield under your control. It gives whenever another artifact, it's +2/+0. Our red has a good curve as well. Discards 2 cards, ninjas and rogues you control gain menace until end of turn. So Mind Rot with an upside. Commune with the Spirits. Look tougher cards in your library, reveal enchantment or land card, form them and put them in your hand. Put the rest on the bottom. Heir of the Ancient Fang, 2/3. Enters the battlefield with +1 counter on it for each modified creature. So curve's pretty decent with some of our stuff. Enchanted Artifact creature Planeswalker. When it enters the battlefield, tap enchanted permanent. If it's equipped, untouch it. Enchanted permanent lose all abilities and doesn't untap during untap phase. So you just basically get to entrap something in the moon. Era of Enlightenment, scry 2, you gain 2 life, and then turns into a first strike 2/2er. Scry 2, gain 2 life. It's just so weird and late. And then again, you can ninjutsu it back and just scry a little bit, but yeah, it's kind of awkward. The Asiri Captain, whenever a Samurai Warrior taps alone, it gets +1/+0 instead for each Samurai Warrior control. Seems like a weird ability to be attacking alone, though. We have a Mana Dork, and if it's modified, it can do 2 mana. And we have Essence Capture as a reprint. Counter a creature spell, put a +1 counter on something. And we have the Lion Sash. 2 mana for a 1/1 exile target card from a graveyard. If there's a permanent card, put a +1 counter. And equipped creature gets +1 for each +1 counter on it. Very good card with Reconfigure. All right, so what we have from this one is, first of all, I do like our green a lot. A lot. I think the green is super, like a good curve. We actually just have playable cards in green. But nothing special, no bombs is the issue with green. We have our rares were kind of weak, kind of meh. Got some Death Touchers, got some good curves, got some good +1/+1 counter strategies on here. It's pretty strong as far as that's concerned. Our multicolor card was also kind of neat as far as a lifelink enchantment spells cost 1 less. I don't know how much that, like we have some enchantment creatures, like that would cost 1 less. We have 2 of them. A lot of our oh, that wouldn't work because it's already, low. That costs 1 less. It's okay. We have some like I was stating before. We have some board breakers here. The red was good as well at first, but there's like no top end to red. Look at all these like two mana. There's a 2/3 for 2. Yeah, just a lot of weak kind of stuff here. That it'd be tough just to go all out and aggro. Like we got 3 of these Simian Slings, which are actually really, really potent because they can dish through some damage with the Simian Slings. So I understand that aspect of going like a fast curve, And like we have this like artifact strategy that's pretty decent here too, with these cards, like very good aggressive, very good aggressive artifact kind of strategy going on with our red. The problem is it doesn't really pair like our blue. I really want to play blue because there was some good stuff in blue, like this 3/3 flyer for 3, and this card just seems super good with the ninjutsu. So enters the battlefield from your hand if it's attacking. So yeah, you absolutely want to ninjutsu this and then find other ways to ninjutsu it back. But the problem is we really get down to this to where there's just not enough playables in blue. There's just not enough that you can do with. And this is where we could recruit stuff from our artifacts, but our artifacts also seem quite lackluster for what they do. This Iron Apprentice will probably go in any deck because we have enough modified stuff to work. So I don't know. I'm thinking Gruul is just a nice, fast, aggressive. Our green shores up where our red lacks. We get like a nice curve out of it. But what we can also definitely go is into Boros, and Boros does seem strong here with the Lion Slash is a great card. We have some pretty decent like 1/1 flyers for 1 that can do well. They're great to then equip onto, and I think just red. I hate being pushed into red, red-white. But I just believe that that's where it's at. This is where the two strong colors are in red and white. And I don't know if splashing would be the right thing though. The Pillar of Order seems pretty decent. It's also great with like our promo. We have some other cards that work well with it, and our black is kind of awkward too. I don't know what it shores up by making us play it, like not playable, not playable. These Reckoning Bargains are okay. There are some things we can definitely use them with some of our modified cards, like the 1/1. You can sacrifice it. The Blade of the Oni is really strong as well. Death Touch Shrine's okay. I just don't think that black also can quite get there with what it's doing. Like it's lacking. It's lacking in playables and just sheer numbers. And so the cards that we do have, like what makes sense to me is red-white. Red-white, possibly Splash of Black is how I'd build this. So that's kind of my overview for this kind of pre-release kit opening. And I'd like to know your thoughts on how you'd build this one. And also let me know if you're watching this after the pre-release, how your pre-release went and what kind of archetypes you saw, what worked out successfully with this. Should be fun to draft. I don't know if I'm going to grind this time on Arena. I think I kind of done too much drafting in the past. I hit Mythic last 3 times in draft just to have fun with it. And it's pretty fun. I've been really liking the limited sets, and this one also seems to be pretty good. Again, I can't jump to conclusions because I haven't played it. There might just be some boring things about this sets, or some like it might have been like a weird board style curve nonsense. So you never know until you actually start playing these how well they play out. But this does seem to have like some very fun cards to build around. Be looking for that video for the top 10 cards that I want to brew around for Kamigawa in a video. It'll probably come out either tomorrow or Friday. And yeah, if you can attend your pre-release, I highly encourage you to do so. This has been Kevin with a Rogue Deck Builder. Thanks for watching.